There's something new on the renewable energy front, something you probably haven't heard of, and something under the radar. Most importantly, it's something that could potentially solve huge problems, including what many now say is the biggest problem, global climate change. This new thing is called METROL. It's a clean and green, affordable, and easy to obtain, easy to use liquid fuel that delivers hydrogen with the unmatched potential to quickly eliminate almost all forms of air, water, and land pollution, especially carbon emissions. To understand the full importance of METROL requires that we face up to what it would take to actually solve the climate change crisis. It's basically two tasks. First, we need to stop emitting excess carbon gases into the atmosphere. Second, we need to remove already existing surplus carbon gases in significant amounts from the atmosphere. Amazingly, METROL can do both. We also have to find a way to stop polluting our landscapes and oceans with our waste. METROL can do this too. The full list of benefits for the METROL technology system would seem to make it the proverbial no-brainer. The METROL program was developed by an Arizona research group known as McAlister Technologies. The company's director, Roy McAlister, a professional engineer with over 250 patents in renewable energy, founded the American Hydrogen Association, wrote a book called The Solar Hydrogen Civilization, has taught in the engineering departments at University of Kansas and Arizona State University, and has received awards from prominent professional engineering societies for innovations in green energy.
We use a relatively small amount of electricity to ionize a portion of the population of injected fuel so that these ions carry on the ignition. These ions go where the fuel goes. And so we're, in that sense, extremely efficient. And the way we present the fuel then is as a stratified charge.
METROL is made from any hydrocarbon that rots or burns. This typically means bio-waste, such as sewage, garbage, farm waste, or forest waste. METROL can also be made from fossil fuel hydrocarbons, such as natural gas. Most important is that METROL can be made from biomass algae, the fastest growing plant in the world. With massive algae farming worldwide, combined with McAlister Technology, we could not only draw down huge amounts of carbon dioxide from the air, but make very large profits from doing it. When METROL is made from biomass, an anaerobic digester is used to convert the biomass into methane gas. Then, and unlike other biofuels, which typically just use the methane as a fuel, METROL production takes it a step further by splitting the methane into its constituent parts, hydrogen and carbon. The solid carbon is harvested and then sold to industry as a manufacturing resource. The hydrogen gas is harvested and by use of a patented process combined with nitrogen and carbon dioxide drawn from the air to form a liquid fuel, METROL. Because METROL is a liquid at room temperature and pressure, it's as easy to store and transport as gasoline, diesel, or jet fuel. This means we don't have to build massive new infrastructure to handle the hydrogen-based fuel. It can use existing pipelines, rail cars, tanker trucks, and gas stations, thus saving huge amounts of money. Once the liquid METROL is inside a converted car, truck, or literally any other type of motor vehicle with an internal combustion engine, it's stored in a standard fuel tank. Next, and using patented McAlister technology, the METROL is heated and pressurized using recycled waste heat from the combustion chamber. The hydrogen is then separated out from the METROL and cleanly burned. The leftover carbon dioxide and nitrogen are released back to the atmosphere from which they were earlier drawn during the making of the METROL. Converting a normal car engine to METROL use can typically be done in a day or less. The existing exhaust system is replaced by the METROL heat exchanger. The hydrogen accumulator is mounted nearby on the firewall, and on the top side of the combustion chambers, the new smart plugs simply replace the old spark plugs. In many ways, METROL cars and trucks are the greenest of all road vehicles. To understand why, we start with the most immediate, easy-to-see factors. First up, METROL vehicles are obviously cleaner than those running on either gasoline or diesel, and this is by a huge margin. Besides no toxic tailpipe emissions, they actually clean the air they drive through. METROL fuels are also easier on the engine than is gasoline or diesel fuel, so the vehicle engines last longer. METROL cars are cleaner than other biofuel cars because they burn only hydrogen, not the carbon that's in methane or biodiesel. METROL supports electric cars with clean electricity produced by hydrogen. METROL cars have multi-fuel flexibility. They can run on either METROL or, if necessary, gasoline or diesel with the flip of a switch. METROL cars have lower costs overall compared to other green car types and compared sometimes even to gasoline cars. This is for two important reasons. First, converting existing cars to METROL is much cheaper than buying a new car. Second, implementing the METROL infrastructure is much cheaper than all the other energy alternatives. There are bigger issues that make METROL even more attractive. For example, METROL burning engines actually suck in and remove contaminants from the intake air. This means a METROL vehicle actually cleans the air that it drives through. With METROL use being implemented in cars, trucks, trains, and power plants, we could virtually eliminate smog from the cities of the world. Even more important, METROL production from biomass could enable the world's green plants to remove excess CO2 from the atmosphere. This is because biomass is made from photosynthesis, and photosynthesis naturally captures carbon from the air and puts it into plants. When animals or plants die, that biomass normally either rots or burns, thus returning the carbon back to the atmosphere. But because the METROL system interrupts the natural cycle of rotting or burning by harvesting hydrogen and carbon, this approach prevents the harvested carbon from returning to the atmosphere. This carbon is instead separated out from the biomass, stockpiled, and sold to manufacturing industries to make durable goods. This essentially locks the carbon in a place where it does no harm. The net effect of this process could be huge, enough for existing green plants to significantly lower and restabilize atmospheric CO2 levels. It's been calculated that we could potentially lower worldwide CO2 parts per million counts to safe levels within 20 years. One final METROL benefit is to dispose of our waste products in a non-polluting way. Our garbage, sewage, and farm waste, etc., thereby become valuable resources instead of pollution headaches. The key to the affordability of METROL comes from the captured carbon sold by the pound to industry as a manufacturing resource. The income potential of this is shown here, where we can see that a given amount of natural gas or methane yields 20 times as much gross revenue when made into METROL than when simply sold or burned as we do now. This income from carbon sales can be used to subsidize both the cost of engine conversions and the per gallon cost of METROL at the pump. The captured carbon sold to industry makes possible widespread use of a growing new class of wonder materials, such as carbon fiber, graphene, and carbon nanotubes. The superior quality goods produced include car bodies, bicycles, airplanes, and space vehicles, and to a new generation of much more efficient wind turbines and solar panels. This last point greatly amplifies the indirect capacity of METROL to supply clean energy for the world. Right now, we are moving from laboratory to commercial production of both the METROL production equipment and the engine conversion kits. Funding will allow us to engage intensive third-party testing to validate, at scale, the production output quantities, costs, and safety. This will be followed by ramp-up of commercial production capacity, which will take place in pilot programs around the country. Finally, with press coverage, word of mouth, and public demand, full-scale implementation of METROL can begin, and the environmental plus economic benefits to motorists, travelers, and the energy-using public in general along with virtually all other life on Earth, would be almost immediate. It all depends on the public and political will to step up to the plate and actually solve the key problems of our time.